Welcome, fellow nerds, to this episode of Nerd Shit, hosted by Lord Brad and Rioric, where we discuss all things nerd. Whether it's anime, movies, comic books, video games, Magic the Gathering, or Dungeons & Dragons. If it's nerd, we talk about it. So pull up your favorite chair, pour a glass of mead, and get ready to come and discuss everything nerd shit. Hey, welcome back, nerds. Today's episode, we're going to be talking about the video games we're playing, games we want to talk about, games we're waiting for to come out so we can play them, and just how we play them. And we're also going to talk about celebrity nerd gamers. Nerds that are, rich and popular. Not us that play video games. Sadly, not us.
Yet.
So
we're working there. We're trying. Well, you just want to dive right in then?
Yeah, I haven't had time to play any games, so you're the one who plays the new stuff that's out right at the moment.
Well, but that's hopefully changing for you soon, though.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah. But you're playing a new game. Go on. Tell them what we're playing.
All right. Well, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 came out on the Switch at the end of July. So I picked up my copy of it. You and I were both fans of Xenoblade 2. I played Xenoblade Chronicles 1 on the Wii U, but I don't remember if you really played it.
I never had time to play on the Wii U.
Okay, so I played it on the Wii U, but you played number 2.
I played number 2.
Okay.
So I wanted to get the definitive edition that came out on Switch, but again, I haven't had time to play anything.
Yeah. Well, 3 is larger on scale compared to number 2. I think I saw an article the other day that said the map was 5 times larger than Xenoblade 2. And playing through it, I can tell that it's a large map. Because I've been playing and I've only explored just a couple of zones. They're not small in size, but they're small compared to the rest of it. Because if I open up the map, there's still a lot of it I can't see.
Yeah, and this is like an action slasher RPG type.
Yeah, it's an action RPG. It's
not turn-based.
No, it's not turn-based. It's real-time action battles. Mm-hmm. It plays very JRPG, but without the turn-based. So it's a more modern JRPG. Graphics-wise, it's on the Switch, so it has kind of that almost not necessarily shell shade like what they did with some of the older consoles and stuff, but it has more of that animated feel to it. Not quite the photorealistic look of PS5 and Xbox One, what they're accomplishing. But the console itself has less horsepower because it's meant to be portable. Mm-hmm. You can't put that kind of a horsepower in a portable machine and have the battery last any duration. Mm-hmm. So there's a trade-off there, but for the graphic quality, it's still a whole hell of a lot better than my Atari 2600 from the 80s. It beats my Nintendo 64 from the 90s, and it's better than my PlayStation 3.
I was going to say, is it better than the Wii?
Yes, it's better than the Wii.
And there you go. That's all you really need.
Yeah.
To me, if it worked on a DS, I can play it on the big screen. I don't care about the graphics. I'm here to play the game, and the game better be good, like action-wise. I don't do much for the stories, but I do like some of the stories.
Yeah, this one's got an interesting story. I'm still early on in the game. The game story has, I think 17 quote-unquote chapters. I'm only in chapter 4, but I do massive amounts of exploration and grinding before I advance my story. I try and max out all of my maps before I run off, because I don't want to run off and leave something good behind or some hidden area behind. So I run all around. And if I hit some place that's too high level for me, when I get to where I can go back, I go back and explore. So if you look at the recommended levels, chapter 4 is level 27. My characters are in their 50s because I'm exploring and grinding and doing stuff with it. So there's a lot left to go, a lot I haven't been to, a lot I haven't seen, a lot I haven't done. But at the rate I'm going, by the time I get there, I'll be overpowered, which is normal for me in RPG.
Yeah.
It's a good game. Given that you liked Xenoblade 2 the way you did, you'll really enjoy this one. The combat system is very similar. The same positional, side attack, back attack, front attack, break, topple, launch, slam, all those different effects that you did before, just with new classes, new animations, new story.
No waifu weapons.
No, not so much that I've seen so far.
There's not a gotcha system on your crystals to figure out your weapons, what weapon type you're gonna get. In Xenoblade 2, you crack the crystal and you might get a weapon that's different.
No.
No gotcha system in that one.
No, because there's no weapons or anything involved.
Yeah.
You choose a class, and there's 20-something classes in all that are available in the game. You start with so many of them unlocked, and then as you progress through the different areas, you can encounter heroes, and if you complete that hero quest, then you unlock that hero's class for your other characters to use, sorta. And when you choose a class, that automatically determines your weapon. The only thing you have to equip are your accessories that increase your damage, increase your heal rates, increase your evade.
Yeah.
Boost damage when your hit points get low, things like that. So you don't have to worry about too much equipment management now.
All right. A game I would like to play, just because I know it's a short, easy, fun game that everyone's talking about right now, is the game Stray, where you play as the cat.
No.
It's just a little puzzle game, really, and you're just solving problems for robots trying to escape. You're just not a cat person.
Yeah, I'm not a big cat person.
I just think it'd be fun.
Well, I mean, they talk about it really captured the essence of a cat, and you can walk around and knock stuff off and jump up on tables and get in people's way, things like that. But it's an interesting concept, but just the gameplay doesn't interest me. I'm not interested in exploring a city just to interfere with the occupants.
I think the whole point of the game was to get out of the city.
Yeah, but if it's a puzzle adventure,
yeah,
I don't care. I'm not a big puzzle guy. I don't even like Tetris that much, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, did you like Zelda when it came out on Switch?
I have it, but it's not one that I've devoted a substantial amount of time to. I understand Zelda is an iconic game, and there's a lot that can be enjoyed in Zelda, but I'm just not a big platformer. I'm not a big puzzler. I'm a shooter. I'm a racer. I'm an RPGer. And on occasion these days, I'm a sports guy. But after recent endeavors with your brothers,
stopped with the sports games.
I'm too old to keep doing the sports games, apparently. They break my ankles on the game just like they break my ankles out in the yard.
Another game I was gonna try and get, but I'm not sure I like the concept of it, is the Digimon game, where they were talking. I like Digimon because it's like Pokemon, they evolve, and it was like Fire Emblem combat type stuff. But they said it was mostly story and dialogue, and I don't know if that's gonna hinder me playing it or not. They say the story's really good. Everyone's really praising it, but I'm more of like split it 50-50. I'm cool with 50-50.
And when it comes to that, I'll probably hold off. Because if it's a Pokemon-like game, I'll just wait for Pokemon.
The only Pokemon-like thing about it is that when they evolve, they evolve, but they just get bigger and stronger.
Yeah, but if I'm wanting to go out and capture monsters and level them up and evolve them and collect them, that's what Pokemon's for. Yeah. If I'm wanting Fire Emblem type combat, I've already got 3 or 4 games that do that. I don't need another one. And if it's mostly an interactive movie, I've already played Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't really want to relive that. It's a 16-hour game, but you spend 10 hours of it in cutscenes. it was more of an interactive movie, really, than a video game.
Yeah, that's the one thing I don't really want to happen to my stuff. I'm a player, not a watcher.
Yeah.
I can watch, I just prefer not to.
The Guardians of the Galaxy game looked fantastic. The quality of the animation, the quality of the just modeling, the voice acting, the script and stuff. It was a good story and it looked fantastic. But I paid $60 to play a game, not $60 to watch
This.
an animated movie.
Mm-hmm.
I can do that a lot cheaper than $60.
Mm-hmm.
That's my only dig at that game. I wanted to do more.
Yeah. Well,
But some stuff that's coming up though that I'm interested in. You know, I already mentioned Pokemon. You and I are both waiting on that, and that drops what, October?
no, November 18th, I believe. It's the first time it's an open world game. You could like open. Like,
Okay.
Like there's the world map. You can go in any order.
So I don't have to go back to the hub and then go to a map like I did in Arceus.
No, yeah.
Okay.
You don't have to do that. Completely open.
Yeah.
You can go to gyms in any order, but the problem with that is they don't make it sound like the level scale, but you can do the 8th gym first, even though that 8th gym probably has level 50s and 40s.
Oh, I'm going to be grinding anyway, so I'm going to go into every gym with a level 90.
Yeah, so that's just the one thing. It's not truly any order, but it is any order. But yeah, that's what it is. And apparently there are multiple champions, like ex-champions and stuff, and that's a higher ranked thing where you can go around and battle at a champion level.
And I saw where you could get Terra gems and
Yes. When they can change their type when you do it.
Yeah.
So if you have a water type and you terraform it, it's whatever that terraform is. It can now be a grass type.
and they're sparkly.
Yeah, they're all crystallized.
Yeah. So that looked interesting. There's another one. I think this one's Switch based called the Diofield Chronicle.
This is the first time I've heard of it.
If I'm not mistaken, that one's gonna be kind of Fire Emblem-y. Let me look it up real quick.
While you look that up, another game that just came out is Koromon for the Switch. And it's a lot like Pokemon. In a way, it's a unique thing. I would say it's a little different.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty fun. If you like those type of games, monster taming games, I think that one's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. So I might look into that one. But yeah, so Diofield Chronicle drops in September. Strategy RPG. It's actually going to be available on pretty much all platforms: Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox, X, and even Windows. I think this was the one that they were talking about. No, this is a Square Enix game.
Was this supposed to be Triangle Strategy? Did that ever come out?
Yeah, Triangle Strategy's out.
Okay.
It is grindy though. So grindy. I mean, I like grind, but damn, it's rough. So no, this one's something a little different. It looks interesting though. I remember looking at some of the videos for it a while back, and it was good. I'm definitely gonna pick this one up. I just may not pick it up at launch.
Yeah.
I don't have it reserved because with Xenoblade dropping at the end of July and Pokemon dropping right before the holidays, I didn't want to overdo it and have a bunch of stuff that I couldn't play.
Yeah.
But this is definitely one that's on my watch list. Let's see here. The only other game that comes to mind for me is Soulframe. And you and I were talking a little bit about this the other day. Soulframe is from the same studio that makes Warframe, which is that mech.
The mech shooter.
The mech shooter. This one's going to be more melee based, more people, not mechs.
Mm-hmm.
And it's said to be largely inspired by Princess Mononoke,
Yeah.
which caught our attention.
Yeah, that is my favorite movie of all time.
And it is among my top faves.
Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting. But there's no data about what platforms it's going to come to or when it's going to release. Apparently it's been in development for 3 years, and they just announced it this year. But they didn't announce a whole lot other than, yeah, it's not going to be mechs, it's going to be people. Yeah, it's not going to be shooting, it's going to be melee. Yeah, Princess Mononoke.
It makes me expect giant mythical creatures.
It's kind of what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
So I'm going to have to keep my eyes out on that one. But I can't think of anything else that I'm just chomping to get my hands on at this point.
Say, I got a lot of things I'd love to play.
Well, let's walk through them. What are you wanting to play?
I want to finish my Spider-Man games. That I'm like at the very beginning of them. What's the other one I got?
Elden Ring.
Yeah, I'm halfway through Elden Ring, and everyone else is beating it, but me.
Yeah, and you started it first, but we all have a lot more time to play than you do right now.
Mm-hmm. And I was doing so good. At first.
Yeah.
Then summer hit, and it sucks.
All in good time.
Yeah.
All in good time.
All in good time.
Was there anything that you don't have that you're looking at that we hadn't talked about yet?
I am one of the only people that haven't got to play Ghost of Tsushima yet, and that's one game I really want to play.
It is gorgeous.
I know.
Such a good game. I mean, that was one of the first games that I've 100%ed in a while.
Yeah, that's one I really want to do. Like, badly. But
Yeah.
I'll never get around to it.
Oh, yeah, you will. Yeah, finish Elden Ring up a little bit and then dive into Ghost of Tsushima. They're actually, the studio that did that one, they're actually working on another game that's almost done, if I remember correctly.
Do you know what it's about?
They've been pretty quiet about some of the details, but they've already announced, yeah, we've got another game coming.
Nice.
Yeah, and after the work they did on that one, I don't care what they put out. I'm going to be looking at it hard.
This time it's European Nights.
There ain't no telling. So,
Ooh, imagine it being like in South America, like the Aztec and Mayan type thing.
so speaking of
cool.
European Nights, there was a game that dropped on PC a couple of years ago. Kingdom of... Oh gosh, what was the name? It was a Kickstarter game at one point, and it ended up coming out. Kingdom Come. That's what it was. Kingdom Come Deliverance. The guys that wrote it, they actually went out and studied fighting techniques of middle-aged knights with different weapons, so how they fought with swords versus great swords versus pole arms versus battle axes versus maces versus bows. I mean, they looked at all these different weapons and how they were used in combat. And then they even tested how they affected armor. Like, they would set them up and beat armor with swords and stuff to see how they, what the impacts were, what the physics behind it were. And they incorporated all of this real-world physics and real-world combat tactics into the game.
Now, how'd the game do?
It's... I'm not going to say it's like super popular, but it's PC only. So, if you're a PC RPG type player, or PC action adventure or ARPG type player, people like it. I mean, they're still putting out updates for it. They're putting out expansions for it. So it's doing well enough that they're continuing to maintain it. I've got it, because as a Kickstart backer, I got the free copies. Mm-hmm. I say free, I mean I paid to kickstart it. And it plays good. It's challenging, because it's not like you can just run through and dummy some of that stuff.
Yeah. Because
of all the real world physics, your guy's, he's gonna get beat up. So you've got to be real careful about what you do, when you do it, how you do it, timing, positioning, all that stuff plays into it. And it's interesting. It's not one I spend a lot of time on because I don't PC game that much anymore, but it's interesting. But you just mentioned European Nights. It made me think of that.
Yeah, I like that European fantasy type stuff. But
yeah,
I like when games try and take that and put it in other things. That's pretty cool too. I'd really like to see an Aztec versus Mayan type thing. I don't think there is. It'd be really cool.
Oh God, what were they saying the next Assassin's Creed was? Was that South America?
I think you're right. I forgot.
I think it is.
I forgot all about it. I didn't even know that Assassin's Creed games were still being made.
Yeah. They announced a new one earlier this year, and I want to say that one was South America, somewhere like that.
That'd be hella cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep an eye on it. A lot of people get super excited about Assassin's Creed, and I was talking with your cousin Jordan about it. He's kind of interested in it, but I've played so many Assassin's Creed games. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I'm burned out to the point where I don't want to play anymore. Because after Black Flag, they've just kind of gone downhill for me. I liked being a pirate on a ship, sailing around, blowing stuff up, attacking castles and stuff.
Well, you were a pirate. Pirates are cool.
Yeah. Yeah, let's not turn this into a One Piece conversation. I know where you're going.
But you were a pirate.
Yeah. And it was fun. I enjoyed it. We'll see.
So you enjoyed being a pirate?
I enjoyed blowing up other people's stuff.
You enjoyed pirates?
No, I wasn't in it to loot their stuff. I just liked blowing things up.
I'm just saying, One Piece.
I could have blown it up whether I was a pirate or not. Just the fact that they put that mechanic in a pirate game is, irrelevant to me.
Well, since we're talking about games, let's move over to celebrity gamers and Vin Diesel, because he has his own games.
Yeah, he's got his own game studio that he started several years ago. I can't remember what it's called now.
All I know is he did, Ark?
Yeah, they did Ark, and they've got Ark 2 coming out later this year, I think. Your cousin Jordan's super excited about that one. The lead character in that game is actually modeled after Vin Diesel. I don't think that was the case with the first Ark, but it is with the second Ark. And he's a gamer. He's a big D&D guy.
Yes.
So, like, The Last Witch Hunter, the movie he put out a couple of years ago, was inspired by one of his D&D characters. The Riddick franchise, I think that one was connected to his D&D stuff.
Big nerd.
Yeah, big nerd.
Super nerd.
Yeah, he plays this big badass guy, all about family and NOS in the Fast and Furious franchise. And he may be a real big car guy in real life too. I don't know. I know Paul Walker was.
He probably is if he has an entire franchise around him.
I would assume so, but that doesn't preclude that he's also a giant nerd.
Yeah.
And for those of y'all who don't know, before Vin Diesel got big with movies and got real popular, he was putting out breakdancing videos.
Yeah.
And you can actually find them on YouTube. He has hair, he's skinny, he's not muscled up, but you can still tell it's him.
Little crackhead?
Yeah, he looked like a little crackhead out there breakdancing. Yeah, so Vin Diesel's got a lot more depth to him than most people probably realize just by looking at his action movies that he's known for. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he's actually a big nerd. And I think we talked about this a little bit back in episode 1 about how Henry Cavill's a big nerd.
Yeah, I figured a lot of people might know that Superman's a nerd.
Yeah, it's gotten a lot more publicity here lately. About some of these people being nerds, and Henry Cavill seems to always be at the top of the list every time I see something come up.
Yeah.
And I'll reiterate for those who didn't hear episode 1 or forgot from episode 1, he almost missed his audition for Superman because he was doing a WoW raid.
Yeah. Big nerd.
Yeah. Oh, I've got a chance to be the lead actor in a major motion picture with one of the most iconic comic book characters of all time. Let me go kill this guy in World of Warcraft first. Yeah.
I have to get this done. He drops an item, or I just need the XP.
Yeah. Talk about priorities there, guys. Then one of our favorite actors.
I love him. He's so stupid. Seth Green.
Yes.
I love Seth Green.
Seth Green.
And it's mostly because of Robot Chicken. Everything on there's a nerd reference.
So Seth Green, he oh God, how do I put this into words? Everything he touches, I like.
Yeah.
Robot Chicken, huge fan of.
Go on. You talking about the little puppet show?
Yeah.
Greg the Bunny?
Greg the Bunny, yes.
The old 2000, what,
God,
4?
I loved that show. Loved it. It only got one season before it got canned. But that was great. Him and Sarah Silverman and Eugene Levy.
And a bunch of puppets.
And a bunch of puppets. Tardy the Turtle.
God. That was a show. That was just a show.
Yeah.
One of my favorites, though.
Yeah. The ape.
Oh, yeah. The one that wore the helmet all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. He actually had a spinoff at one point.
No.
I don't think it ever made it to network TV.
Yeah.
But when you went to like iTunes and you could buy TV shows and episodes and stuff, yeah, he had his own series up there that you could get.
He did always say he wanted a spinoff, like his own show and all that.
And they gave it to him, apparently. I don't remember how many episodes it was or anything like that. It was pretty short if I remember.
God.
But yeah, I saw that up there. But that was good. And then he had the show, what was it, Dads?
Yes.
Where him and Giovanna Ribisi were programmers or tech guys or whatever, and then their two dads were always meddling with things.
Yeah.
That was pretty good. I liked that.
Yeah. He's a Family Guy. I don't think that qualifies as nerd anything, but I'm pretty sure that brings in a big chunk of his money.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Family Guy. But I like him in Family Guy.
Oh, yeah. I just don't think that's nerd. I think that's just more of a... This brings me money, and all I gotta do is say, like, 6 lines in a show.
Yeah. Well, and then you look at his movies, Idle Hands. That was just kind of a goofy horror movie that was funny.
I think he was in, like, what?
Sex Drive.
Sex Drive was good.
I'm sorry. Seth Green as an Amish dude is hilarious. And he had so much sarcasm. Everything he said, he was messing with somebody.
I feel like that's just him in real life.
Probably, but it was great.
Yeah, I don't think he was acting.
And then...
he's just a sarcastic ginger Jew.
Yeah, without a paddle.
Yeah.
Oh, primo there.
Austin Powers,
he did a good job with. He was actually in a movie with Vin Diesel. Knockaround Guys.
Nice.
So that was an interesting movie. If I remember correctly, they were kind of like the kids of mobsters, and they kind of banded together to do their thing, or because they were trying to make a name for themselves, or there was family pressure to do something. I don't remember the exact storyline for it. It's been a while since I've seen it, but it was an interesting movie. Seth Green as a nerd. Then we get to look at The Italian Job.
He just played...
He was a hacker.
Yeah, he just played a hacker. He just played a nerd.
Yeah, he played a nerd. So, it was, But, yeah, I can go on about Seth Green. I love Seth Green. Yeah. But then you've got people like Jack Black.
Jack Black's a big gamer. He streams all of his stuff. Mm-hmm. He's just into video games and being a nerd. And
he's got an interesting family history.
Oh, yeah. Both of his parents are like have doctorates and are super smart.
Well, his mom worked for NASA and was involved in the Apollo program that got astronauts to the moon or something like that.
Yeah.
And I want to say even further back in his family tree, there's famous people and connections and stuff in there.
Yeah, they're all like super smart people.
And then you've got Jack Black, who I am sure is super smart on his own, but the persona he portrays on screen, you probably wouldn't get that.
Yeah, you just guess he's just, an everyday comedian, jokes around music.
Yeah.
You think he's like a band nerd.
Yeah. So
I'm
sure
he kind of is.
Oh yeah, he is. But I'm sure he's
get a doctorate in music
probably pretty smart too. Yeah.
But yeah, you can watch him play games. He just sits there. I forget what his streaming name is. I knew it. If you would have asked me like an hour ago, I would have had it.
Well, if you think of it, let me know, and maybe we can drop it up on Facebook or something.
Yeah.
But then there's people that you might not even expect that we found out were gamers, like Mila Kunis from That 70s Show.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently she's a gamer. Megan Fox is a gamer. Rosario Dawson's a gamer.
Where do I know that name from?
Rosario Dawson,
Probably not.
she's been in a number of things. Let me find one of the ones that's probably going to be most iconic for you.
For me, yeah.
Did you watch Book of Boba Fett yet?
No, I did not.
Okay, so that's not going to mean anything to you.
Yeah, I haven't had time to watch anything. I really want to watch that too.
What about, are you caught up on Mando?
Yeah, I'm fully caught up on Mando.
Oshaka Tano?
Okay.
That was her. To put it in a
Okay.
picture where you might know her. She was in Zombieland, Double Tap.
Okay.
You know, Jay and Silent Bob.
Yeah, as soon as you said those, I know who you were talking about. And once you said Ahsoka Tano, I know exactly who you're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'd hope someone who does Star Wars is a nerd.
Well, yeah.
I'd hope.
Yeah, she's a bit of a nerd.
I hope they're not doing it just for the money or, just because it's Star Wars, you're going to make money.
Yeah.
It's like, please do the franchise some justice, because I got a little thing we could talk about a little bit later about people being pissed off for franchise stuff.
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg, he's a real gamer, likes playing Call of Duty. He has his own streaming thing. You can catch him streaming pretty often, or he used to. But he has like his own games too. He has Snoop Dogg's City or something like that. Snoop Dogg's Rap Empire. He was in Call of Duty Ghost. He likes teching. Yeah, he just plays a lot. He does do sports games. But yeah, he likes playing Madden and Call of Duty.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't think he even remembers he plays like 2 or 3 characters in his games.
Yeah.
I don't think he remembers doing those.
And another surprising one is Jamie Lee Curtis, which may or may not be a name that's familiar to the younger crowd, but she's one of the legendary Hollywood scream queens. She's been making films since the 70s. So like the Halloween franchise,
Yeah.
she's the girl Michael Myers is always after trying to kill.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh God, what was that movie she did with Arnold Schwarzenegger where he was the spy? I know it. It's a movie I watched several. No.
Worth a shot.
Give me a second here. Let me find it.
Was he RoboCop?
No, that was
Okay.
Peter Weller.
Okay. So I'm not that old.
True Lies is what it's called. So she played Arnold Schwarzenegger's wife in True Lies. She's been in a lot of stuff. I'm sure people have probably seen her in something, even if they didn't recognize her. Mm-hmm. But she's been around for a long time. But she's also a big WoW player.
God.
Believe it or not. But then WoW's been around for a long time now too.
Yeah. I can't play WoW. It takes too much time. I do not have a good enough computer for WoW.
WoW doesn't require much.
Oh, I just know my computer's crap.
You don't play a lot of games on it, so you've never invested in good video cards and stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, there's a lot of people. I mean, I keep running across stories online where people would be bringing games to set.
Yeah.
And getting other people to play. And I'm just like, oh wow, I wouldn't have pegged that person for playing that. Same thing for like Magic the Gathering.
Oh yeah.
There's a bunch of celebrities that play Magic and would bring cards to set, and they would all sit around and play in between scenes.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of people. Like half the people that did Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
All the kids.
Seth Green,
yeah.
So, Sarah, there was something I sent you a while back about celebrities and gamers.
I know Zac Efron also really loves playing video games, is what he's talking about. Samuel L. Jackson's just a nerd in general.
Yeah, Samuel's a big nerd.
Yeah, I say he also likes watching the adult animes.
Yeah.
Woo-woo!
Samuel and hentai, here we go. So, yeah, I don't remember what all that list was. But...
Yeah, I know James Bond, Daniel Craig.
Mm-hmm.
He's also a nerd.
Yeah.
So yeah, just a bunch of famous nerds.
Yeah, you look at these celebrities, and a lot of them, Henry Cavill, Vin Diesel, Dwayne Johnson, Daniel Craig, they're action movie people.
Mm-hmm.
They're shooting guns and racing cars and beating people up. They're all big buff dudes. I mean, Daniel Craig's not near as buff as The Rock or Henry Cavill, but he's not Jack Black either.
Yeah.
I mean, Daniel Craig is a dude that's in shape. So a lot of times people get in this stigma that if you're muscled up, then you're a gym bro.
Yeah. And I know a lot of gym bros are nerds.
Yeah.
Both of the guys that I hung out with in high school, both gym, all about going to the gym. They tried to get me to go several times, but I was like, no, just not my thing. Trust me on this one. They got nerd stuff over their cars, their backpacks, their drinks, and I'm all like, y'all have more nerd stuff being able to view publicly than me. Alright, we're gonna go circle back real quick and just talk about our favorite games of all time. Top 3 or so. For just your favorite one that covers enough time to... It's your favorite.
Ooh, that's tough. Because I've got favorites for different gaming, I guess you could say... Platforms or even
category.
Things. Like, I love EverQuest. It is among my favorite overall video games when it comes to PC gaming. I'll jump on Project 1999, which is a EverQuest emulator, and play that before I'll play anything new. Just hands down, I would much rather log into EverQuest and play than do pretty much anything else on a PC these days. Console-wise, that's a toss-up. Probably my all-time favorite game is the original Final Fantasy VII. I know that's kind of cliche sounding, but growing up with Ataris and Nintendos and things like that, I never really had an epic connection to a game. I'm going to go play Pitfall. I'm going to go play Frogger. I'm going to go play through Mario, whatever. Yeah. And it was just kind of a, something to do to spend my time, something to entertain me.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't until I got Final Fantasy VII for the PlayStation 1 and really dug into that game that I found my love for RPGs, specifically JRPGs. And I've been hooked on them since then. So while it may not be the best RPG game out there, depending on who you ask, what it inspired in me and what it has led me to makes it probably one of my favorite and most influential games.
I grew up mostly on handhelds because consoles weren't easy for me to get a hold of.
Well, at the time it was
expensive.
Cost prohibitive for us to have multiple consoles, and your brother with his disability, kind of...
He broke like 3 Game Boys, it makes sense.
Well, he broke some of my PlayStations too.
Yeah, so I get that. But yeah, I played all the handheld games like Pokemon. That's all-time favorite up there. Some other little small ones that people don't know much about for that is like Fossil Fighters. It's dinosaurs.
I remember that.
That one was so fun for us. We were just playing with dinosaurs. And then I also played a few of the Dragon Quest games on there. Mm-hmm. I love Dragon Quest. I think the newest one's my all-time favorite one. But out of my, second favorite, Dragon Quest 9 is my all-time favorite because me, Dylan, my cousin, and stepbrother, all 4 of us could play at the same time in the same game.
Yeah.
And just go around wrecking stuff.
The co-op.
The co-op in a Dragon Quest game with a bunch of 10-year-olds is the dumbest thing you could do, and it's so fun. Because we understood what we were doing because, we watched you play them. Jordan had his uncle and his dad played a little bit of games.
Yeah, Darren plays a lot of
Yeah.
games. Daniel
Well,
not.
He played Halo with
he
us.
Played
had
some.
Yeah.
He'd play some, but he wasn't a big gamer like me
Yeah.
or Darren.
Yeah, so he did watch Daniel and Darren play games together. So everyone knew what we were supposed to do, but also knew we could have a lot more fun by doing the stupidest things.
Kind of like our D&D sessions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not... We get it done.
Oh, we get it done, but we go about it in some of the dumbest, most jacked up ways, usually just to aggravate the DMs.
But it's the most fun way.
Yeah, it's entertaining. I'll
Half
give you
the
that.
time it's the easiest way. Like, for us to not take any... Like, safer for us.
Yeah.
Console-wise,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what my favorite console game is. Because I liked Banjo-Kazooie on the N64 a lot as a kid,
Yeah.
but I haven't had a real console game for myself until I was like a senior in high school.
GoldenEye?
That was a multiplayer thing too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played GoldenEye a lot. We played around with pistols only or rocket launcher only, and then we'd have like the golden pistol, the one-shot kill hidden
I used
somewhere.
to mess y'all up with those proximity mines.
Yeah, that wasn't as fun though. We used to just go around blowing stuff up. We used to like shoot letters into the wall and just spell out stuff like behind you or whatever. By the time they notice it, boom, you're dead. Call of Duty on the Xbox was really the only Xbox games we had. There was a game on the Xbox I loved, but I don't remember the name. And it was a RPG thing, kind of like Xenoblade. It was.
Yeah.
I remember it. I remember loving it.
Phantasy Star.
Thank you.
Yeah. They've actually got a new one coming.
Neat.
Yep. Actually, I think the new one's on the iPad too.
I don't know if I'm gonna play it on the iPad.
But I think there's a new one coming for consoles.
Yeah.
But yeah, Phantasy Star. I remember that one.
Yeah, my favorite shooter would have to be Metro. I love the Metro games.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's just shooting post-apocalyptic thing.
Yeah.
Russian. I'm not British. I don't know how they'd do in a war like that against demon things. But the Russians, it's just one army you kind of want to be on. Besides American. Well, if they were French, they'd all be running.
Just waving a flag.
Yeah.
Okay, so that brings us back to those are the favorite games. What about your favorite platform?
Oh, handheld. I love anything I can take on the go that's not on my phone.
Have you looked at the Steam Deck?
Isn't that out?
Yeah, Steam Decks are out. They haven't fulfilled all of their orders, I don't think. So there was a big pre-order.
Yeah, I saw that it was out. And I don't know if they require internet to play. That's
I don't remember either.
That's my one thing. If it requires internet, I don't want to play it.
I looked at it when they first announced it, and that was a question I had back then. I'm sure the answer has been revealed since, but I haven't looked at it.
Yeah, because if the answer's yes, then it's not a true portable.
Yeah. Unless it comes with its own internet.
Yeah. And then
But if you have to pay for all that, then
Yeah.
that makes it kind of...
Like, I loved the PS Vita when it was out.
Oh.
I loved it. I thought it was great. I wish there was more stuff for it.
Yep. Yeah. The Vita was
I think it was ahead of its time.
well, I mean, not really ahead of its time because, I mean, the Game Boys and stuff have been around for years.
Yeah.
And before we had the Vita, we had the PSP. So the Vita wasn't anything revolutionary in terms of gaming on the go. I think a lot of it had to do with after the PSP didn't take off the way Sony wanted it to, that developers were more hesitant to put content on it.
Yeah.
And if you don't have content, you're not going to have sales.
Yeah. See,
Because there was a lot of people that bought it thinking content would come, and then it never did.
yeah. It was just trying to compete with the DS, and the DS already had a massive empire.
It's hard. It's hard when your main competitor already holds 90% of the market.
Yeah.
And towards the end of its life, I didn't even use my Vita for playing Vita games. I would use it for the remote play, and I would lay in bed at night and play my PlayStation through my Vita.
Mm-hmm.
Your mom would go to sleep. All right, let's go get Red Dead going. Yeah, okay. I'm going to play some Gwent on The Witcher.
Yeah.
And that's what I did with my Vita. It was remote play. And with my PS5, I can do remote play on my iPad now. So I don't even need that. That's its problem. But for me, preferred platform, man, I am torn. I really am. I have always been a big fan of Sony.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whenever PlayStations come out, I get a PlayStation before I get an Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
I'll eventually get the Xbox too, but I always get the PlayStation first. Mainly just because Final Fantasy and Gran Turismo were platform exclusives. And if I'm a big fan of the Final Fantasy series, which I am, and I'm a big fan of the Gran Turismo series, which I was until this last one, which pissed me off, you know, Sony was where you had to go. The Switch has really, really endeared itself to me. I play on the Switch a lot. It's got a lot of games, and the fact that I can take it with me, just something about that convenience, man.
That's the whole reason I'm a big portable. Give me my DS, my Game Boy. I just love having... It gives me... I can play on it all day and still maybe not even get halfway through a story. And it's still good enough to keep me invested in it.
Yeah.
And it's small, and I can take it in the car. I can play it whenever.
And I get that, but the fact that I can bring my Switch home, drop it in the dock, and play on the big screen...
Even better.
Makes that 10 times better to me than a Game Boy or a DS.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I still carry my 3DS around with me. I still have it in my bag, so when I travel for work, I can pull it out on a plane and play if I want to. Because I don't necessarily want to take my Switch with me when I travel.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm running around town, you know, going to be sitting in a waiting room at a doctor's office or sitting over at somebody's house goofing off or whatever,
Yeah.
I'll take my Switch with me. If I'm going on vacation, I'll take my Switch with me. But if I'm going out of town for work, I usually don't take my Switch.
Yeah, I don't blame you there.
Yeah. So, but that's why I have my iPad. That's why I have my phone. That's why I have my 3DS.
Yeah. But no, the Switch is giving you good games.
Yes,
People,
a lot.
Yeah, and the only people that say, "Oh, it's the graphics suck," but the graphics, who cares? We played on the Atari. Look at it.
Well, they're probably complaining because they're comparing
apples to oranges.
Well, they're comparing the Switch to the PS5 or the Switch to the Xbox or the Switch to a gaming PC.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. The Switch is not any of those things. And even Nintendo will tell you, we're not competing with Sony. Yeah. We're not competing with Microsoft.
Yeah.
You know, because they have found this niche that they're in where we can build consoles that you can play on the TV and play on the go.
Mm-hmm.
They're insanely popular. When COVID hit and everybody was in lockdown, you couldn't find a Switch.
No.
And they had been out for a couple of years at that point.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, that's how popular those things are. Nintendo doesn't need to compete with them. They don't need to make PS5 graphics on a Switch.
No. And I think they really realized those two can compete all day.
Mm-hmm.
They can't compete with me no matter what they do.
Yeah.
They realized that with the Vita.
Yeah.
I'm like, go ahead, try it.
Yeah. Doesn't matter how good a graphics you make. Your PlayStation 5 can't undock and go with you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it can, but you can't play it.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to have a power supply. You've got to have a TV. You've got to have all this stuff to make your PlayStation work. And the Vita, you just pick it up out of the dock and keep going.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I am more than happy sacrificing some of my modern photorealistic graphics for that accessibility.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, the graphics on my Switch are still a damn sight better than anything from, you know, my childhood or even from my early adulthood.
And they're more like animated characters anyways. There's no point for hyper-realism when you're in a fantasy-type world or fantasy setting. It's supposed to be fantasy bright colors, sort of.
I wouldn't really care about that even.
Mm-hmm.
You compare what's on the Switch to GoldenEye.
Mm-hmm.
The difference is ginormous. And everybody thought GoldenEye was the shit back in the day.
Yeah.
Now it looks like a big giant turd next to anything, even the Switch. You know, the 3DS, Bravely Default.
Great game.
Great game, but the graphics weren't as good as the Switch.
No. Bunch of chibi characters.
Yeah. But Bravely Default just came out, a few years ago. I'll say a few years ago, 5, 6 years ago, maybe something like that.
I think for the DS, about
Yeah.
5,
Yeah.
6.
But still, 5 years ago for the DS, and then you've got the Switch, and Bravely Default 2 for the Switch is much better looking. Mm-hmm. So why would I be upset about the graphic quality when I can have that graphic quality that's leaps and bounds above anything for the last 4 generations of consoles, minus some of the modern PlayStation and Xbox stuff. But it beats the Atari systems, it beats the early Nintendo systems, it beats the early Xbox, it beats the early PlayStations, it beats early PC games, and I can take it with me.
Yeah.
I think people that are bitching are just looking to something to bitch.
I bet it's PC gamers.
Probably.
Well, they're always the ones that gotta say something.
Yeah.
That's it for this one?
Yeah, I think that's going to do it for this one. Because with that last episode, we talked so long, we ended up having to split it into 2.
Yeah, we're getting close to that one here.
Yeah, so let's wrap this one up and save something for the next episode. So what are we going to talk about next time?
Comic books as movies.
Yeah. There's a lot of those that have been out in the last several years now.
Oh, yeah.
We can talk about some of our favorite actors in those movies. Which actors do we like the most? Which actors do we like the least?
Yeah.
Who do we think fits those roles? Probably. Yeah, because some of them are more definitive than others.
Yeah, some people are like, you could take that person away and replace
swap
them
it
with
out
anyone.
Somebody else. Yeah, and others are just so iconic that you can't imagine somebody else playing it now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. As a teaser, RDJ is Iron Man.
Can't do it. Wolverine can't really. I figure
he'll be recast, and there are some viable candidates, but Hugh Jackman will always be the standard bearer for it. Yeah. And then we can kind of talk about famous people that we've interacted with, that we may have gotten some autographs from, stuff like that, how they tie back into comics or just nerd related stuff.
I met them at comic book stores.
Yeah. So we'll have some fun stories on that one. Yeah. Sailor Moon related, just FYI.
Sorta.
It's related.
That's
I didn't
true.
say it was Sailor Moon specific. I just said Sailor Moon related. So yeah, so that'll be coming up on the next episode, and hopefully your schedule starts to improve with some of the news coming out of the job the last week or so. So hopefully by the next couple of months we'll be able to get into a rhythm and start getting stuff out in more regular intervals.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Don't hold me to that, but that's our goal. Well, awesome. I guess that's going to wrap it up for this week then.
Yeah.
Or for this episode, rather. We don't do weekly installments.
Yeah. Well, it feels like that.
Sometimes. Yeah, sometimes.
Peace.
Peace out, guys.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Nerd Shit. Be sure to follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/LordBradBrad to see when new episodes drop. Or you can find our channel on YouTube. Just search Lord Brad and look for our logo. You can listen to all of your favorite episodes of Nerd Shit directly from our website, www.lordbradbrad.com, where you can also learn a little bit more about us and the products we use and reference on the show. If you enjoyed this episode and would like to donate to the show, we gladly accept donations at coffee.com/LordBradBrad. That's coffee, spelled ko-fi.com/LordBradBrad. Or you can just click the link at the bottom of our website. If you have any comments on anything discussed in this episode, or would like to suggest a topic you would like to hear us talk about in a future episode, hit us up on our Facebook page. Again, that's facebook.com/LordBradBrad. Until next time, this is Reork signing off and telling you to keep doing that nerd shit, because you know we will.